He kept it. Transgram. Let's go. Never change, Graham. Never change.
Apparently it doesn't protect, the GN field didn't protect him from that. I mean, the actual fighting bits are just meaningless because there's no telling what the hell is going on. Especially because some of the battleships just looking like the battleships are actually on the other side.
I guess it is funny having this as like the last fight we're ever gonna see, where it's just very telling that the Gundams could have destroyed the entire Earth at any time they wanted. Nice roll.
I keep hearing that metallic humming noise, and I keep thinking it's someone yelling, because every time I hear it, someone's like being blown out of their cockpit.
Right, instead of just them activating like more stuff.
It's that creature from the abyss.
I don't know, since he was fighting 1 to 1 million here, he's gotta go Super Saiyan, right?
It's gotta be more than 1 million. Again, we've seen the size of the fleet as over top of Jupiter, which indicates both size and amount. Given you're firing away from their thing, and there was a giant sphere in the background, you must be firing towards the moon. Our moon. Okay, Wing Zero.
Graham to the rescue. Oh, the real hero.
Shows up season 3. Said something stupid like heroes never die.
The series has done it enough, I wouldn't be surprised.
How immortal is Patrick when everybody else doesn't die either? Yeah, thank God the things don't go straight for the bridge or anything.
They clearly have no idea what a bridge is.
Why wouldn't they? They've absorbed how many other ships? Yeah, we won't be like the other bridge crew that died. I mean, it's cute and all, but I really wish people would be like how they really would be on the battlefield. Just saying short shit that's straight to the point. Not like having philosophical debates. You know? If you have that much brain energy left in you, you're not focusing at all on the battle.
Well, we gotta get our character engagement in. This is like, we have to finish selling off all everyone's emotional input, right?
Yeah. I feel like the only person doing that should be Tira, because they're not doing anything actively. At least they have the presence of mind to always be wearing a spacesuit. no matter where they're at.
Oh yeah.
Is an enemy from Kirby.
That's nice and cool looking, at least.
I wonder if this is how the moon is gonna get flowers on it. And who better to do first contact than the completely understanding and almost human Setsuna?
Look, they tried with the captain and it didn't work.
No, he got chewed up by metal. He didn't get to talk to anybody. Naked again. It's almost on purpose, it feels like. Those are all alien worlds.
I'm digging it.
Can you dig it, Griff?
You can dig it.
Oh man, that rupees. Link is gonna be so jealous.
Just some last act, nice, abstract, but also very beautiful imagery.
So I guess they're like creatures that live in gas giants at a certain level.
That seems accurate.
Seems to be what, representational. And then their son went Red Giant.
Yep.
And then they escaped in a black hole? I don't know what I just saw there.
It's going supernova, everybody's dying.
No, there was like a black spot in front of the sun.
Oh hey, it's sending out a single colony ship, like the colony ship around Earth.
Post-supernova. So they survived the supernova anyway.
Soか。彼らの母性は死を迎えようとしていて、生き延びる道を探していたのか。つながることで、一つになることで、相互理解をしようとして。
I don't know, it seems like they've killed a lot of people already.
行こう。彼らの母性へ。俺たちは分かり合う必要がある。いいのか。いいも悪いもない。ただ俺には生きている意味があった。
How long would it take to get to our home world? Oh man, that's sad.
I think they're just mentally going there.
Ian and his wife are dying right in front of their kid. I don't think they're mentally going there. They were just there mentally. And then he said, let's go there. I say shooting you. Yeah, we just invented warp travel or whatever. Out of the blue, from nowhere. That riser system could just do this, I guess.
Literally inches away from death.
Hey, Mina didn't betray anybody either. So, he's right there with Billy.
こんなことが見えるわ、刹那。あなたの思いが。そう。たったそれだけのことで世界は一つになるのね。
Okay, so we've returned back to Space Flower again.
Yeah, ending zone.
My disappointment is palpable.
Look, he didn't go Space Jesus. He just said,
Well,
alright,
I
let's
mean,
just go
he
tomorrow."
kind of did. He did sacrifice himself for all humanity. At the same time, though, he also discovered interstellar
Oh, just
travel.
straight to credits.
He did
Oh.
also discover interstellar travel in an instant, with nobody else being involved.
Well, technically, he had an entire alien race involved.
No, they... What?
He had an entire alien species he was talking to that helped facilitate it.
He wasn't really talking to them. He was getting, like, their flashes of knowledge. Also, by the way, they didn't add anything to his ship. That was just all on what the Gundam could do. The Gundam was just instantly capable of vast interstellar travel. Like, he evidently got there within a second, right? Which is, like, faster than warp speed, faster than hyperspace, faster than any other sci-fi thing. He, like, created a wormhole and was just there, which is so unbelievably power-intensive.
Look, they've already been cutting planets in half, alright?
Right. Like I said, it just goes down to my wanting more than one person solves everything thing.
I mean, fair. A lot of people were involved in getting Setsuna even into the Gundam in the first place.
That's not the same thing, Griff.
Like, honestly, consider it more like it's Ian's accomplishment, because this is all his idea.
It would
He built the whole damn thing.
It would be closer to that. It would be closer to that if, like, all of the Gundams went into the thing, or even if, like, the ships or the colony ship, like, if the colony ship went there, and it was like all of the people on the colony ship's thoughts that told them what humans were like, and not just what one guy who was a PTSD kid was what humanity was like, right? It's not even my dislike for Setsuna at this point. It's just that was an ass pull, right? And the last minute of the show or movie, sorry, the last minute of the movie, he developed wormhole travel and solved the fight.
In terms of Alien First Contact movies, the hero disappearing to go hang out with the aliens and no one knows what happened, that's pretty on par. So I'm okay with
For
it.
some movies.
The thing that I was expecting was exactly kind of what we got. Setsuna goes, we just need to communicate more, he activates Trans Am, gets the brains, and then everyone understands. Or at least Alien to him understands.
Again, it's a situation
It was gonna happen.
A situation of less fighting, right? Because, again, it was an ass pull. There was no hint that he would develop a wormhole travel system within the last minute, and that everything would be solved like that, right? Less fighting scenes, more, hey, Ian's a technical genius. Ian has figured out how to do this thing while working with Tara, who has got all the knowledge of Veda. Let's pull it all together. You know, some kind of figuring it out, right? We didn't get any figuring it out. It's, hey, sacrifice as much as we can to get inside. I'm gonna get flashes of the alien's memory, and then from there, let's figure it out. It's no, we don't get any figure it out. We got 2 minutes left of the movie runtime. We better fucking create a wormhole despite never having done that before. And apparently it took us less than a second of being in contact with the aliens. Homeworld that was dying already anyway to have fixed the problem. By the way, also must mean that the aliens communicate faster than light.
They were just talking to the ones that were there. But the
No, they
solution
went
to
to
this
the
was always
homeworld.
going to be a MacGuffin, right?
They went to the homeworld, which we already saw was around a supernova star thing. Like, the star already went supernova. It was in the middle of nowhere. He said, let's go to their home world. He wasn't just talking to the ones here.
I think we got more.
Maybe. We had a 10th anniversary
There
thing
it
that
is.
suggests us more.
2091. How far in the future is that?
意識を伝達する新たな原初粒子の発見
Oh, that's way in the past.
その
Never
粒子
mind.
を製造する半永久機関の基礎理論の構築量子型演算処理システムの発明軌道エレベーター建造に伴う太陽光発電システムの提唱どれも我々人類を豊かにする大変な技術だでも君は人間
That was Sayola.
こんなことに人
Yeah, it is.
私が剣をしているのは知性を間違って使い思い込みや先入観に
It's the most character he's ever
真
been.
実を見失う者たちだ
Is that a flute or a gun on his desk?
呼び不和を呼び争いを生む分かり合わせたいのだよ私は
それが君の求める世界か
人類は知性を正しく用い進化
No
し
wonder he
な
had
け
a
れば
predilection for guys with green hair.
そうしなければ宇宙へ大いなる世界へ旅立っても新たな火種を生むことになるそれは悲しいことだよ
いおりや
Oh, okay. Back to the present now.
ご
Future.
覧ください地球連邦が誇る最新鋭外宇宙航行艦スメラギの勇姿を数時間後
Of course, named after Sumeragi, why not? Oh, now you're gonna launch the colony ship.
全てイノベーターで構成されています全人類の4割がイノベーター
Oh, a lot of them now. Okay.
様々な問題をクリアし我々はついにこの時を迎えたのです私も
God, this feels so like Gurren
こ
Lagann.
の船と共に航海に出発いたしますそしてできる限り情報を皆様にお届けいたしますそれではここで1200人の乗組員を統括する最高責任者フランス・グラード氏のコメントを
We know Klaus. Where we know Klaus? Where was he?
Gosh. I'm trying to remember offhand.
Alright, Maria.
Oh, he's the rebel guy who hung out with everyone for a while.
私目が不自由で
That's what you get for staring at explosions too much.
その声はまさか
こんなにも長く時間がかかってしまった
God, I've become a god, so I don't need to age anymore.
すれ違ってばかりいたから
だが求めていたものは同じだ君が正しかった
あなたも間違っていなかった
俺たちは
私たちは
分かり合うことができた
I appreciate that he came back to see her. Fuck felt. That was a passing fling. That's kind of the image that we got here, except the image for the overlay is from the moon. So
I mean, it's a good final frame at the very least, but
But again, though, we
Right.
have the 10th anniversary thing that we watched before this, where he goes back to a dead guy and says, I'm going to give you my powers, or something. It's like, what the
I
hell's
think we
going
got
on there?
bamboozled a little bit there.
Well, I don't think we got bamboozled. I think they're hinting at something new that they're going to do. It's just very weird.
Hmm.
Again, it's almost the anti-Gurren Lagann. Because Gurren Lagann, he gets the godlike powers to do anything, where he develops it by the end, and he's like, no, these aren't powers for us to use. So we have to let things work out the way that they're naturally meant to, and leave it for future generations. And here comes Setsuda, godlike into he is. I want to see my friends one last time.
That's not so bad, at least. But it does look like I think he's probably merged with the metal. That's why he's like all gray and stuff. That would make sense, right?
That or he's just a clone. Same as the dead ribbons that's walking around. It's the original ribbons. I'm using the word
metal aliens love
clone.
copying stuff.
Yeah, I'm using the word clone as like, when T-1000 turns into people, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So here we are at the very end. All the 00 content done. Here we are.
Well, we're obviously going to be doing our character rankings and episode rankings like we've done for every other Gundam series. But we're done watching.
We're going to talk about characters later.
Yeah, no, we're done watching stuff until, I guess, sometime in the future. The 10th anniversary thing. 10th anniversary? This was 2010. So that would have been 3 years ago. 3 years ago, and they haven't made anything yet. So I guess that was just that was the thing that got a room full of people excited to do anything for 3 years.
Right, so we're going to do the characters later. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's go to book report mode here real quick, Theta. Theta, what is the main thesis of Gundam 00? What would you say that is?
Well, I mean, they said it there at the very end with the text thing that, you can't fight your way into peace. You have to understand people to... it's that whole, God, it's not coming to me now all of a sudden. It's that whole thing of, Hibiki, right? Hibiki from Symphogear. That when she first encounters Chris, and she's like, we're not noise. We're people, and people can talk to one another. We don't have to fight. And of course, at the same time, that's also kind of wrong, as I've all seen a couple of not psychologists, similar field. Anyway, they discuss that even though you can talk, if people have walls up, they're only going to piss them off more by suggesting that you know better or that kind of thing. That there's an underlying amount of understanding that you can get done before you actually hit a wall. I find the concept of humanity understanding each other 100%, there not being any fighting to be laughable. Not laughable, but I'm not trying to come off as better than anyone. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I've read plenty of science fiction novels, right, where the concept is of the far future that we can all agree on exactly what has to be done and how to do it, and still fight about how resource allocation needs to get done. And in a world where resources are finite, there is always going to be a dispute and a disagreement. So,
Look, I've seen people argue on creative mode Minecraft. You can have infinite resources and still disagree.
Right. I just think it's more poignant when it's the real world and not a video game. Because in a real world where people are, your very tangible life and feeling and emotion is all at.
So given all of that, given what you feel about the show, I'd say you're pretty on point. Everything seems to check out. Do you think after 2 seasons in this movie that they have accomplished a demonstration of their thesis? Do you think they got there in a way that makes sense at all?
No.
Or is at all something you can take away?
No. I feel like they cut a lot of corners to advertise a sellable product. So, all those Gundam fights, 40% of the show, I would say.
The fundamental flaw of the world we live in, unfortunately.
Yeah. The capitalism sank too far into the show. So they I feel like too many story corners were cut to make room for the capitalist. Hey, we need to sell models. So, again, the very end there, they could have spent time talking about with the characters coming together and having to solve the problem together instead of doing it mid-fight, where, again, it makes no sense to have psychological debates in the middle of a battlefield that you're actively fighting in. And then they could have shown us Setsuna going to the homeworld and communicating with the aliens. That's why I was saying Setsuna is such... Wait. That Setsuna is such a bad negotiator that he would be a horrible person to send, because for him it's all surface level emotion and then an internal dialogue that we barely ever get to see. So for them, sure, it makes a lot of sense not to show us that communication, because fuck knows any writer that could be able to put it to paper that Setsuna's conversation with an alien species leads to world peace. So it's easier just to hand wipe it. Oh, the aliens stopped moving. We're good. We're good, guys.
Yeah, if I were to go ahead and like wind this back 2 hours, right, I would say we would need to choose either Marina or Felt. And they are the person who is trying to communicate with Setsuna and open him back up. And his lesson learning to open up to them allows him to open up to the aliens. And that ends up being the primary solution to our problem, right? That I think would have felt like it was going somewhere, I think.
Oh, I said before that you said a large group of people, like the colony ship and everybody in it, so you get a wide array of the human experience. Since it
Yeah,
seems
we
like
could have had that too.
the aliens communicate through memory, and that way they would just all see all the human memory. But if you were to do the single person experience, the person you would send would be Soma.
And here's actually another way that could have happened. We had throughout season 2 the moments where he activates the quantum transam. Everyone starts communicating mentally with each other. They could have done that scene again, and it could be him actually directly coordinating everyone with the help of Veda/Tiara to work together as one mind to communicate to the creatures who are all communicating as one mind and reach that understanding together, pull their perspectives together, show the unity of humanity, which is also something else the series was going for, but it hasn't really
Somewhere in the
demonstrated,
writing
right?
process, they decided that wasn't going to work because they tried it. They
Mhm.
tried it and it didn't work. And going back to a moment, I said Soma specifically because she's experienced both sides of humanity. That she grew up as a test subject, was experimented on, and was put through horrible stuff. And then she also, on her other side, peers or whatever, got to experience the best side of humanity, where everybody who tried to save her and gave up everything from God, what's a Russian drink?
Smirnoff.
Smirnoff
I know.
tried to raise her, and then you had Alleluia and them trying to form a life together. So she's gotten the complete life experience from both sides of the spectrum. So if there was anybody to represent what humanity is or can be, it would have been her, not Setsuna.
I feel like the first half to help mirror the second half, where the Earth is like boldly defending itself, trying to hold the line here, would have been served if the first half was more of a horror story. If we had each of our Gundam pilots going through their own little horror scenario where they briefly contact with the aliens, see memories of theirs, and go through things. We could have had like this digest on Soma, like you just had. We could have talked about like the way she sees humanity and all that, and then the aliens were treated withdrawal and everyone's confused. We could have gone to our new lock-on and have him go over how he feels about like the loss of his brother, how war's taken everything from him and consumed his life, and that's just what he is now. And we could have gone through that for each character, and that could have also built towards like more of a theme at the end, I think.
I mean, I could see. So the problem is that the aliens being unable to communicate was such a major part of the problem for them, that having them communicate at all. Sorry, while you were describing your thing, I was imagining what if they were like copying people that they took, like
Yeah.
and
I
then
was expecting it.
and then those people would be able to the T-1000 like Ribbon's body thing, were able to then talk, and then you would have these weird alien viewpoints of the memories of the characters that we've seen. But the moment you have them talk, you'd have to write a whole new story because the moment
because
that
then
you
suddenly the main conflict doesn't exist. You're correct.
yeah,
They can't communicate through that mechanism at all.
well, they also
And that's how you gotta keep going.
become less alien as well because you're able to talk to them, and the fact
It's
that
pretty.
the fact you couldn't talk to them was what was leading most of the confusion. And
Yeah. It's pretty clear though what was happening with the aliens like from the beginning, where like they are trying to copy things that they interact with, and they're trying to represent that back at what's coming at them. They're attempting a very basic form of initial communication. They're mirroring what's happening. If I said like cup, you would point it at this. you would look at this and point and say cup. And now we at least are starting to get some kind of language.
Except that's not
So
what they
their
were
language is
doing.
entirely physical representation of objects, though.
It's not what they were doing though. They were actively killing people. Yeah, they didn't just make a
They
truck.
don't know they're alive. They're metal.
They did well. Arguable because they were taking over people's bodies and animating them. But they weren't just like
They
they
were
weren't just
cars go
copying a truck and saying, "Hey, this is truck." They were like copying a truck and actively trying to run people down. Right?
Yeah, they're going towards the brain waves, which are the things that they organize, and they recognize the people with quantum as something they need to pursue or go towards, at the very least.
Right, but it's just such a very weird interpretation of that, Griff.
I understand.
You don't try to look. That's quantum. I need that. Runs it down with truck. Right? That does not make sense in that perspective.
I guess if you're a chunk of metal, maybe slamming yourself into things at relativistic velocities just makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, it is a stretch. It could have been demonstrated better.
I think we already proposed a better movie.
Oh, we have.
Where they absorb
new things.
Yeah, where they absorb people. That person dies, but now you have the alien that's communicating to you through the memories, and now you have to re-examine your own life with that person through the context of a new alien entity. And now we're talking, we're not fighting, but it's very confusing, and now we're solving mysteries. It would have been a better story, I think.
Here's what I think. I think even though we've just like criticized the movie a whole lot, said like we could make a better one if we did this, this, and this, I think I'm still pretty happy with the movie that we got here.
Oh, better ending. Better ending. The movie that we just made, but the last 5 minutes. That they take over stuff. Maybe they take over Setsuna when he's in the memory thing, and then Setsuna dies. You know, I already love that. But Setsuna dies, and he comes back out as the clone alien thing that can talk. And he just starts a open dialogue. And it doesn't have to be this, we've invented wormhole technology out of nowhere. They have instant transmission that they can just talk across the universe.
He has become one of them, yeah.
Yeah, he is the Locutus of Borg, if you will. He can talk to them, the aliens stop attacking all of a sudden, and we open up. We've got a communication from, it looks like the 00 Quant. It wants to communicate, and all of a sudden Setsuna's on screen, gray skin, glowing eyes, and hell, we are the whatever, and suddenly that's when we transition to credits.
Let's back it up, because I thought that's what was going to happen with the captain, right? They introduce him, they say he's an innovator, he's got like this edginess to him, he's in restraints, and then he's put out onto the field, he's consumed by them. I'm just like, yes, this is it. This is the moment where he becomes part of them or in charge of them or something and redirects it at Earth, and we go into his problems or something, or we interpret things through him. Instead, he just disappears from the story. I feel like he's wasted potential.
Dude
right?
was a fucking nobody.
He was. That's the point. It's a perfect movie character. Bring in the nobody, explain him, and he's the conflict. But we didn't get that.
At most, I thought he was a risk for Billy. Because I thought the girl was going to fall in love with him because he's so cool and edgy.
That would have been hilarious.
Literally, that's the only impetus he had in the whole movie for me, was that he was saying this stuff and Billy's there with his girl and she's going to be like, oh my god, he's like Billy, but he's an innovator. And that's like, I was worried for Billy for half a second, and that's the only part that guy had in the movie for me.
Trauma of misunderstanding, breaking characters apart, and then the understanding at the end, bringing them back together. That would have been good too.
Well,
there's so many good things that could happen here, and I think so. To wind back to like the summer, I was
just
trying
before
to
you move on, just also remember that she was only introduced in this movie, so she only existed here. So much like the captain. If anything was going to happen, it was going to happen here.
So, like I said, I like the movie, and I think I like it the most just because I have a lot of ideas from this now. I watch this and go, that was really cool. I like these ideas. I'd love to expand upon them. I actually want more of that. I want to talk more about this and how these things could go. And that's why, like, I like a lot of movies, because I get to see something that makes me go, I want more, I want to think about this, I want to make my own of something like this.
I'm constantly talking to you about, hey, I watched
Mhm.
this thing. It gave me idea for a tabletop campaign, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think the problem, though, with the way we're coming at this is that our ideas tend to be how this movie could have been better, which is not a great launch-off point for how good this movie was, right? Because there's plenty of movies, bad movies out there, where you could see the good movie could have been.
But I would
So,
say, even in that context, I would still say this is a good movie. It still did a lot of good things. We still followed our characters well. It expanded upon different things in the universe. It gave us a very clear conflict happening, which is the aliens. This was a good alien invasion movie, actually. Like, if I were to compare this to, like, Independence Day is kind of garbage. There we go, Independence Day fans. Fuck you,
no.
but...
One, I'd say Independence Day is better than this movie. I would say this is on the tier of Moonfall.
Right. But the thing I liked about it as an alien invasion movie, though, is specifically we went through all the steps. We saw the whole process of like 3 months of like everyone getting ready for the Earth to just be destroyed.
This is on the
That was
tier.
fun.
This is on the tier of one of the Transformer movies, specifically the ones where the Decepticons first show up and nobody knows how to deal with them. Because
What
that's
about the
all.
one where they turn into dinosaurs?
Literally, it's all they deal with. Remember? Because there's even a transforming truck in this movie that tries to run people down. Literally, that's all they go with, and then after that, it's just space combat.
T-1000 truck was amazing. I loved that. That was hilarious.
I'm just saying that's the tier of movie we're on. We got the mysterious ancient aliens thing from Moonfall, and then we got some Transformers shit. Look, here's the credit I'm willing to give this movie. It is the best Gundam movie that I've seen.
How many have you seen? Well,
2.
what's the count? 2? There you go. Congratulations, we did it.
I would
better
say
than Gundam Wing.
Yeah, I'd say this is better than Endless Waltz because Gundam Wing has the problem of its slow moving narrative, and ultimately, I don't think, and despite how amazing Treize is, I don't think we're going to blindly follow his daughter for no reason, even as a figurehead.
Here's another fun comparison point. The reason why I would say I like Endless Waltz at all is because there's some good, like, individual moments of just, like, really cool stuff happening. This is, like, 2 hours of, like, a lot of cool stuff is basically constantly happening.
The reason why I like Endless Waltz is I'm a I'm a Zack's fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally there. I watched the movie just to know if Zack's annoyance a story progressed any. Did they get a couple? Did they get married? Are they still together? Literally, the plot of the movie meant shit to me. I just was on there to know if these two characters kept going.
Sometimes I can't tell if you want more of like the Star Wars trade negotiation in the Senate scenes, or if you just want an entire novel, a romance novel of Padme and Anakin. You'd probably be down for that.
No, I didn't care about Padme or Anakin.
I know, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing by quality.
I think I was literally only... I mean, God, the movie was just bad.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything good. I mean, I don't... Yeah, obviously you rank them at the bottom of the tier. And I'm not saying they're horrible movies, the prequels. I mean, they are bad, but they have like little... Like, they have a minute here and a minute there if something good's happening. It's just...
Star Wars is definitely way less of a concrete anything and more of like a vibes-based movie series when it comes down.
But I just mean in movies like this, right? I'm more about the character interactions when they seem natural and like emotion filled, like Luis and Saji, who seem to still not get married. I mean, Patrick and Mannequin got married, so I don't know why Luis and Saji, who were a relationship before Patrick and Mannequin were, but still.
They're the ultimate take it slow couple, I guess.
I guess. They got a lot of shit to work through. I mean, they did try to kill each other.
Yeah, that might take some time.
Correction, one of them tried to kill the other one. The other one was not willing to try.
Saji was about to, at least a couple times.
No. Setsuna was about to. Saji was on his back at the time. That doesn't really mean the same thing.
Alright, so I guess let's go ahead and like wrap it up. Are there any final thoughts about Gundam 00 you want to get off here?
I say for the movie, I'd say the first 75% of the movie was great. I just have I think all of my problems lie in the back half, because the back half was a lot like the season 2 ending, where I was complaining about the last, 23 and 24, where they just started to try and write people out so that they could finish their narrative.
You heard it here first, everyone. Theta actually likes most of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
There you go. I'm just saying, it's like, you can't say he's negative about it. He likes it.
Well, it's because the things that I say during the parts that I like come off as negative. Like, I say, this is crazy, this is insane, or, I say things like that, and it's just me making crack jokes, and it's like, people will latch on to the jokes. Like, well, no, this is why you're wrong. You fucking hate this. I don't understand you. How can you hate this? It's such a touching and emotional story, and it's like, well, for one, I don't find it touching and emotional, but I still enjoyed it. Again, we wouldn't have spent most of a year watching it if we weren't enjoying it. I'll certainly tell you, we're not making YouTube numbers off of it, so there's gotta be our enjoyment.
Speaking of, watching it for the jokes, at the end of it all, at the end of 00, I'm gonna miss Transgram. I needed more of that, and it's the best pun I've ever had in Gundam. I'm keeping that one in my heart.
Look, I think you of all people know what an emotional mess I turned into at the end of Witch from Mercury. I was literally crying that the show wasn't going to happen anymore, and we weren't getting any more of the characters. I was that emotionally attached. I enjoyed watching Saji and Louise, but I am not I'm not getting any tears about it. I am moving on just fine. And we'll be moving on to Universal Century, which is going to be a lot of characters and a lot of... Look, it's their main storyline.
Everything you want right there.
Everything that we've done up until this point has been Gundam side story shit, side universes. We're going to start dipping our toes into the main Gundam universe, where all the writers and all the shit they spent all their time on. So we're going to get to start seeing what Gundam is really all about.
So I think with that, we'll go ahead and catch you over in Universal Century later then. This has been Stoneface Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?